global hybrid car sales crossed 10 million units in a single year for the first time ever in 2023, and yet most buyers still have no real idea how these vehicles actually work under the hood. That is not just a knowledge gap, it is costing people thousands of dollars in bad purchasing decisions every single year. In the next 10 minutes, you are going to find out exactly how hybrid technology operates at a mechanical and electrical level, which type of hybrid system is actually best for your driving habits, and whether the fuel savings genuinely add up over time. We will also get into the one number that most dealerships deliberately avoid showing you because when you see it, it completely changes the way you think about the hybrid premium you pay upfront. Stay with us, because this one is going to surprise you. To understand why hybrids exist, you have to go back further than most people expect. The first practical hybrid vehicle was not a Toyota Prius. It was a loaner Porsche, built by Ferdinand Porsche himself in 1900. It used a gasoline engine to generate electricity that drove electric motors at each wheel. The concept was brilliant, but battery technology at the time made it impossibly heavy and expensive. The idea sat largely dormant for nearly a century. Fast forward to 1997, and Toyota launches the Prius in Japan. It becomes the first mass-produced hybrid passenger car in history. By 2000, it arrives in North America, and the automotive world is never quite the same. At first, people laughed at it. Critics called it underpowered, strange-looking, and too expensive to justify. Then gasoline prices spiked in the mid-2000s, and suddenly everyone wanted one. Toyota had essentially bet the company on a technology most people thought was a novelty, and they won. Today, nearly every major automaker sells some form of hybrid vehicle. The technology has branched into multiple distinct categories, and understanding those categories is where most consumers get completely lost. There are three core types of hybrid systems you need to know. The first is the mild hybrid. This is the simplest and most misunderstood. A mild hybrid uses a small electric motor to assist the gasoline engine during acceleration and to recover energy during braking, but it cannot drive the vehicle on electricity alone. The electric motor never fully replaces the engine, it only supplements it. You will find mild hybrid systems in many European vehicles and increasingly in trucks. Fuel savings are real but modest, typically 5 to 10% compared to a non-hybrid equivalent. The second type is the full hybrid, and this is what most people picture when they hear the word hybrid. A full hybrid, like the Toyota Camry Hybrid or the Ford Escape Hybrid, can actually drive on pure electric power alone at low speeds for short distances. The system constantly monitors driving conditions and switches between the gasoline engine, the electric motor, or a combination of both, all without any input from the driver. The battery recharges through regenerative braking and from the engine itself, so you never plug it in. This is self-contained, and it is genuinely clever engineering. The third type is the plug-in hybrid, often abbreviated as PHEV. This combines a larger battery pack with a gasoline engine. You charge it at home like an electric vehicle, and you get a meaningful electric-only range, typically between 20 and 50 miles depending on the model. Once that battery depletes, the car operates exactly like a standard full hybrid. A vehicle like the Toyota RAV4 Prime or the Jeep Wrangler 4xe falls into this category. For drivers who commute short distances and charge regularly, a PHEV can deliver dramatically better fuel economy than almost any other option on the market. Now let us talk about what is actually happening inside one of these systems, because the engineering here is genuinely fascinating. In a Toyota-style full hybrid, which uses what Toyota calls their hybrid synergy drive, there is no traditional transmission. Instead, a device called a power split device, essentially a planetary gear set, connects the gasoline engine, a generator, and the drive motor simultaneously. The system continuously adjusts the power contribution from each source to maximize efficiency. The computer controlling this process makes adjustments thousands of times per second. It is one of the most sophisticated powertrains ever put into a mass-market vehicle. Regenerative braking is another critical piece of the puzzle. Every time you lift off the accelerator or press the brake pedal in a hybrid, the electric motor reverses its function and becomes a generator. It converts the kinetic energy of the moving vehicle back into electricity and stores it in the battery. In a conventional car, that energy is simply wasted as heat through the brake pads. In a hybrid, you are recapturing it. In stop-and-go city driving, this makes an enormous difference, which is exactly why hybrids often get better fuel economy in the city than on the highway, the complete opposite of how conventional engines behave. Here is something that surprises almost everyone when they first hear it. A hybrid vehicle's battery is not the same kind of battery you find in a fully electric car. Most hybrid batteries are nickel metal hydride or lithium-ion packs that are deliberately kept between 20 and 80% charge. They are never fully charged and never fully depleted. This narrow operating window dramatically extends battery lifespan. Toyota has reported that the vast majority of Prius batteries last the life of the vehicle, and taxi fleets running Prius vehicles have logged over 300,000 miles with original battery packs still functioning. The fear that you will face a $5,000 battery replacement bill is largely outdated and exaggerated for modern hybrids. Now let us get into the money, because this is where the conversation gets real. The hybrid premium, the extra cost you pay over a comparable non-hybrid model, typically ranges from $1,500 to $4,000 depending on the vehicle. The Toyota Corolla Hybrid costs roughly $3,000 more than the base Corolla. The Honda CR-V Hybrid sits about $2,500 above its conventional counterpart. Is that worth it? The answer depends almost entirely on where and how you drive. At current average fuel prices in the United States, a driver who covers 15,000 miles per year and switches from a vehicle averaging 30 miles per gallon to a hybrid averaging 45 miles per gallon saves approximately $700 annually in fuel costs. That means the hybrid premium pays itself back in roughly 4 to 5 years. If you keep the car for 8 or 10 years, you come out meaningfully ahead. But here is what nobody talks about. Hybrids also have lower brake wear costs. Because regenerative braking does most of the work, the physical brake pads and rotors on a hybrid last dramatically longer than on a conventional vehicle. Some Prius owners report going over 100,000 miles before needing their first brake job. Over a decade of ownership, that alone can save $500 to over $1,000 in maintenance. Now layer in the PHEV equation. If you own a plug-in hybrid and charge it every night, your real-world fuel costs can drop by 60, 70, even 80% compared to a gasoline vehicle because you are running on cheap home electricity for most of your daily driving. The average cost of driving on electricity in the United States is roughly 1 to 2 cents per mile. The average cost of driving on gasoline is currently around 10 to 12 cents per mile. That difference is not trivial. It is transformative for a household budget. The counterargument is also worth taking seriously. If you drive primarily long highway distances, a hybrid's electric motor contributes relatively little. The regenerative braking advantage disappears on open roads. You are essentially carrying extra weight, the battery, the motor, the power electronics, and getting minimal benefit from it. For a pure highway commuter, the math is simply less compelling. A highly efficient conventional vehicle or a diesel might actually serve you better in that specific scenario. Reliability data broadly favors hybrids, particularly Toyota and Honda systems that have been refined over decades. Before you go, if you learned something valuable today, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to AutoVision Daily for a brand new video every single day. We will see you in the next one.